Welcome to another video and to another organ. Today I'm at Holy Trinity Church in Darlington to look at this remarkable 3-manual pipe organ. Really has some serious power. Firstly, if you haven't been in this channel before, my name is Paul and I visit pipe organs all over the place wherever I can get in. So if you haven't yet subscribed, I'd be so grateful if you will consider hitting that subscribe button and joining me on these visits. But without further ado, let's have a look at the organ. Some of you eagle-eyed viewers may recall that I came to this organ probably about 3 or 4 years ago and did a very brief video, but it's such a nice organ that I thought it was worth coming back and doing a full video. This organ was originally built by T.H. Harrison back in about 1868, I believe, and of course T.H. Harrison, Thomas Hugh Harrison, later, him and his sons later went on to create the now very famous Harrison and Harrison organ builders up in Durham. There's also a lot more information on the National Pipe Organ Register, which you can look at, which will give you more information about what's gone on with this organ. This is a tracker action organ. The pedals, I believe, are tubular pneumatic, but it really is a fantastic organ. So I'm going to start as usual by having a look at the stops on the grate, which is of course the central manual. So let's have a look. Okay, so the first stop on the grate is a 16-foot double open diapason, which sounds like this. Rumbly. Very nice. Next we have a Lieblich Gedackt. It's a flute and it's an 8. I have to say, this action is so light and responsive. It really is nice. Not sure what it's going to feel like when we're coupled, but we'll try that later. Next we have an open diapason. It's an 8-foot. Nice and bright. I'm not sure if the front pipes here are part of that open diapason. Sounds very nice. Impressed. Another 8-foot. This time it's a bell gamba. Now I'm not sure if bell gamba is relative to the shape of the pipes. I'm not absolutely sure. Maybe you can help me in the comments with that. But it does seem to stop at F sharp below middle C. Doesn't go any further. Also has a bit of a stringy tone to it. Very nice though, nicely in tune. We have a flute. It is a raw flute, a 4. How bright and cheerful is that? That is lovely. Next we have another 4-foot. It is a principal. Again, nicely in tune. Let's try that with the 8-foot open diapason. Sharp and crisp, so nice. The next is 2 foot 15 on its own. Lovely. Let's try that with the Principal 4 and the open diapers an 8. Lovely and bright and crisp, I like that. And next we have a sesquialterer. It is a 3 rank. Normally or often you find that a sesquialterer is only a 2 rank, but this is a 3. Hear the brake there straight away. So very nice. Let's try that with the 4 and 8 Principal and the 2 foot. Don't know what happened there. And the final stop on the grate, but by the way, that is so bright and responsive, fantastic. The final stop, we have a reed, and it is an 8 foot trumpet. Super impressed, that is a lovely trumpet. Could do with a bit of a tune, but that sounds really, really nice. That's all the stops on the grate, but that is a lovely selection with the 2 foot and the mixture, and obviously the 16 foot right at the very bottom there. Sounds really nice. Let's try something on the grate. Let's have a go. Fantastic, great, and again the action is so responsive, such a bright, crisp sound. I don't like the way that 16 foot comes out with the toe combination pedals, but that's just what it is. But there we go, that is fantastic. Let's move on to the choir, which is the bottom manual. The stops are here above the grate on the right hand side. Let's have a go. So the first stop on the choir is an open diapers, and it's an 8. What a lovely tone. And we have a stopped diapason, which is a flute. Again, such a nice tone. Let's just try that with the open. Nice. We have another flute. It's a Clarabella, and it's an 8 foot. Lovely. Let's try that with a stopped. And an 8 foot Dulciana. Let's try the right manual. Seems to stop at Tennessee. Another flute. This time it's a harmonic flute. It's a 4. That is a lovely set of flutes on that choir. Lovely. Harmonic piccolo, it's a 2 foot. So responsive. Goes all the way. Let's try that with the 8 foot Clarabella. Nice. And finally we have another reed. It is a Cremona or a clarinet. It's an 8 foot. Stops at Tennessee. What a lovely gentle choir. Let's move on to the Swell, which is the top manual. Quite a few stops on here, quite a lot of power. Let's have a go. So the choir, by the way, is controlled, or the volume at least is controlled by a balanced swell pedal. There's also a tremulant, which I believe is part of the Swell. There we go, super fast. I won't be using that again, but that's controlled by a pedal on the right hand side. Way too fast for me, but it's there, so worth pointing out. The first stop on the choir is a 16 foot Borden. Lots of depth again and rumble. We have a Lieblich Gedackt, it's an 8 foot. Super nice. We have another open diapase and it's an 8. Go with that, we have a principal, it's a 4 foot. Shut the box. Effective swell box. Very nice, and we're back to 8 foot. This time we have a Vox Celeste. Let's try this on its own. Lovely and stringy, which of course is what it is. Probably stops at Tennessee. It does. And we need to of course try this with the other 8 foot string, which in this case is a viol d'orchestra. Let's see if we get that lovely beat. We do. It's a lovely tone. It's very, very quiet, which is a shame, but what a lovely tone. Tuned very, very fast actually, but again, sounds really nice. Let's try the next stop, which is another 3-rank mixture on its own. See the break there at middle C? There you go. And again. So nice. Forgot what key I was in there, sorry. Let's try that with the principal and the open diapason. It sounds very distant, it sounds like it's a long way away. Of course we are under this alcove, but I imagine that sounds really nice when we get out into the church. Unfortunately I don't have all this posh equipment that allows me to put a camera out here and a camera over there and this, that and the other, but I'm sure it sounds very, very nice. It sounds nice where it is. Lovely, we have a 4-foot stopped flute. Lovely and bright, that sounds quite cheeky. Cheeky? You know what I mean, I hope. And we have a piccolo, it's a 2-foot. And I think we have 3 reeds here. The first hasn't got a label on or a badge on. What is it? Sounds like an oboe. Sounds pretty nice. We have a cornopian, it's an 8-foot. Nice. And finally we have a 4-foot clarion. Bit out of tune that one. And that's all the stops on the Swell. Not, of course, not forgetting the tremulant, which is down here, but super fast. Just remind you what that sounds like with the open. Super fast. Not sure I would use that, but sounds really nice. So let's try something on the Swell. Let's have a go. So of all the manuals, that is the one that's slightly out of tune. It does sound a little bit off. Again, because we're behind this alcove, it sounds like it's an awful long way away, but it's a nice set of stops. It has some lovely reeds on there. Would be even better if they were in tune, but overall really nice, really impressed with that. Let's move down to the pedals. The stops again are here on the left. Let's have a look. So the pedal board is a concave radiating pedal board. As mentioned, there is a balanced swell pedal. There are a whole series of combination pedals. The ones, or partly the ones on the left are the swell, the ones on the right are the great, and it appears that there are some, there's reversibles there, and they seem to be pneumatic. Not quite sure what they all do, but it's there, and I'm sure you will get used to it if you were playing it regularly. But the pedal stops, We're going to start right at the very bottom again. It is a resilient 32-foot bass, and it actually says on the pedal stop, resilient 32-foot tone, which tells us, of course, that it's not really a 32 foot. It would be nice if it was. I think it's in fifths, so it gives it that rumbly effect. And it does sound really nice, actually. It does have that rumble. Next we have a 16-foot open diapason. Whoa, that's got some beef. A 16-foot Borden. An 8-foot Principal. And a 4-foot Flute. Not sure that works. No, doesn't seem to work, that one. Maybe it's not there. Or maybe it's knackered, don't know. But it doesn't work. Interestingly, and I discovered this by mistake actually, that here below the grate manual there are 2 buttons. If you press the left one, we get what sounds like a 16-foot trombone on the pedals. But it's really good to have that. So if you want that 16-foot trombone, you simply press. There it is off. So with everything else, you really do have a nice beefy pedal, and that's really good to have. I know on organs like this, not having that 16-foot trombone is a big loss. You really do miss it. So to have that is really, really nice. So that's the pedal stops. Below the pedals are all the couplers. They're everything that you would expect. There is the Swell to Grate Super Octave, which allows the octave above to sound on the grate, but it doesn't work on the Swell, which is a bit of a pain. But certainly if you've got everything coupled, it adds that brightness from the Swell, adds that extra octave above. Don't know why there isn't just a Swell super octave as well, but there isn't. Everything else is, again, as you would expect. So overall, I think this is a really, really nice organ. It's pretty well cared for. There's a little bit of tuning that needs attention. It feels nice. The action is lovely. I'm going to try something now, full organ. This is my opportunity to find see what it feels like with everything coupled. I'm going to find a good beefy hymn, give it a whirl, see what it sounds like. Let's have a go. fantastic organ. It really does need a tune, but even with the couplers, that is a lovely soft action. That's really, really nice. Super impressed. Really impressed that it's got that additional 16-foot trombone there on the pedals. That is so nice to have. Really adds that rumble and that. Anyway, just a massive thank you to the people here at this church, particularly Robert, who's been kind enough to let me in here this morning and has given me permission to record this video. A massive thank you to you for watching. Again, if you haven't subscribed already, I'd be so grateful if you will consider hitting that subscribe button. It really helps to promote these videos and it really helps to promote the channel. But until next time, until the next organ, I shall see you later. Bye for now.